gwakire o rimwe ungithikire ni ukuigua ruhuho. Listen, you can feel the wind. Okay, you are receiving the wind. You can receive the wind. Okay, you can feel it. You are receiving the wind. You can hear the wind. That's feminine. That's receiving. Now, if there's some smell in the air, the wind, what are you doing? You are analyzing. Hemodo wa thuria. You are analyzing. Hemodo in a perfume. You are analyzing the smell. Is there smoke? Is there stench? Is there bad odor? So what is that? That is masculine. Okay? So by default, by starting just that, the video, by just opening the, you know, the windows, na kwena air, okay? What is wind? Wind is moving air. So air being the element. So by default, you're receiving both sides. You are receiving it. You can feel it on you. It's impacting you. So you are able to receive the air. So that's feminine. When it comes to thinking, for the air, thinking is feminine. You are receiving. Now when you're analyzing it, smells so good in here, then that is masculine. Now, here we go. Nie ndiri kindu njitagwo ngetika Njenga wa Muthaka. Njenga wa Muthaka ni mubui wa Bariabu. Njenga wa Muthaka ni mundu mugire ngemithingira kimenyia menya ikirwo kirigwarigwo cigikatia igikunwo ngana ikirwo now kimenyaga kierwo. So a mind frame. Okay, well, what is your mind frame? Unaona Google ni yagoroka, Google ni kwajeti kugoroka just because of the words you are using. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. The moment you say some words in a certain way, by default the algorithm can pick them up, and that is how they find you. That is how they sniff you with their malware and spyware, and that is how they get you. And that is how you are able to be blocked. That is how you are able to be demonetized. That is how you are able to be dropped in the SEO or search engine optimization because of what you know. So it's not someone sitting down specifically listening to Njenga wa Muthaka and said, hey, Njenga wa Muthaka, hey, muweke block. No, it's AI, artificial intelligence. So it's an intelligence, an intel that has been made artificially, and the people who make it know the specific words to target. Not just the words, but if those few words appear in a certain sentence and this sentence relates or compares to this, then that's forbidden knowledge. Okay? That's how you know it. Now, a mind frame can be a small frame. You hear people telling you, put my picture in a smaller frame. I want an A4 frame, an A5 frame. I want a bigger font or a smaller font or front. It's the same thing. Whether there's a bigger front, anything that is more in the front appears to be bigger. So even when you go onto the computer, a big font means it's bigger. It appears closer. You can read it more. So it's not about a front being in your front. It's a font. It's the frequency. Font. Front. It's not the word. It's the frequency and what that means. I came to him up front. So by default, you know, he was right there demanding for his money. Tell me up front, aka niambie kwa macho yangu. That means ako hapa, closer, easy to understand, easy to see. Now you know I can't be upfront with this person because they're angry. Bigger font. Now, Uh, let's say you have a smaller mind frame and someone else has a bigger mind frame. What that means is the one with a smaller mind frame cannot see a bigger frame, cannot see a bigger picture, because a small mind frame means your frame is small. Your frame is passport size. You can see a lot of expansion. So either someone has to need a magnifying glass to see, but by default we know that your frame of seeing is small. You have a small frame. If I have a bigger frame, bigger than an A4, a portrait size, then I have more stuff to see. I can see more clearly into the drawing or the painting. I can see the leaves or the veins of the leaves because it's bigger, it's more closer. Now, I won't even say who they are because of the algorithm, but they know this. So they keep you in a smaller mind frame. So your frame of mind is small, is a small window. Since they understand the alchemy behind words or symbols and signs, they don't give you that in their books. They don't give you that in their curriculum. They don't give you that in their religion. They don't give you that in their entertainment. They don't give you that in their politics. They don't give you that in their entertainment. So you are given a very basic 1, 2, 3, or a very basic teething kind of handed noun knowledge. Since you are not self-taught, since you are programmed to follow an education, a religion, a way of doing business, a way of conducting under a government, or a way of being entertained, aka you don't even know how to laugh, you are taught to laugh. So you think you know how to laugh, but it was taught to you by starting taking pictures. Okay, na mwana cheka, smiley, mwana timukenu, the baby is not happy, but they know for the picture they have to smile. So they're always saying getheri, cheese, because it's programmed that for you to be in a picture, it has to be in a certain way. So if I take a picture and I'm not smiling, you don't give it likes. You think it doesn't sell because you are taught that. Thayo wa muthaka Janewax kawanyi ni thayo na muriuki wa deto. This is going to be very deep. So since you are taught that, how to be in the world, how to laugh, how to make love, how are you programmed to laugh? By being given comedies and stand-up comedies and being told that is funny. When it may not be funny, but you're told that is funny. How? You're watching a program, so when they say that thing in that way, in the background they laugh. So you're even being programmed what to find funny and what not to find funny. Because you're not self-taught. You are programmed. You're under a program. Okay? Now, to keep you in a smaller mind frame, they have to be in a bigger mind frame so that they can see how much you are aware of. So they give you a context, or what you call a curriculum, so that you don't go beyond it. So they give you a curriculum that you cannot surpass. So they tell you, when you get here, you have graduated with what you call a PhD. This is the highest you go. And it'll pay you so much money in the world to be seen as that. So if you have 2 PhDs, you are seen as the most knowing, the knowest. We even give you a name, a professor. We give you a doctorate, the highest you can attain knowledge. Their knowledge is that. So they cap it with a PhD or graduation gown and a square on your head, a magic square on your head, a ritual to make you think that is the best you can be. Then you are given a scroll, aka you are given what you call a scroll, a degree that is tied with a ribbon to tell you that is the farthest you can go when it comes to learning things on that area or direction or whatever, or situation or circumstance. You are given a degree that is tied. So you have attained your highest degree. So if you are not at that 3-degree Mason, whatever degree they give you, they cap you at that. You are at that degree. So fuck your degrees. I go beyond. I go to the source. So now that you're given a degree, the best, the PhD, the doctorate, no one can go above you. You become the face of that thing. So if you want to know that thing, we come to you as the only one with the PhD, the degree that has been capped. You are capped at that degree of attaining a knowledge. You are not even at a decan, or a 15-degree angle. You don't even have your wings. So you're even wobbling. You're in between whatever energy spectrum you're on the other one. So you are wobbling. You're wobbling like Neil deGrasse lying to you through NASA, and wobbling. So you're always wobbling. You are a wobbler, but you are capped. So you are the best. If you want to go to NASA, go and talk to Neil deGrasse. He is the best with the PhDs for their program on what they want you to know and understand and cap your frame, because they have the bigger frame. But I'm here to take your mind to the bigger frame. Are you ready? Right now. Now, Nitoe already that we have what you call the 4 elements: fire, water, air, and earth. So you have the 4 elements right there. Okay? Fire, water, air, earth. Then of course you have your ether, your spirit. So the 4 elements, before you add you as the spirit to make it the pentacle or everything. So we already know that we have fire, east. So fire, your Adam, your fire is the feeling. Okay? You catch a feeling, a fiery feeling. Niko na joto, nasikia moto, I'm feeling hot. So fire is the feeling. Okay? But you know that when there's a fire, there's a vision. So the feeling is the masculine. The vision, since you can feel it, becomes the feminine. So I'm taking you behind the scenes, how each and everything has the yin and yang, so that you can know that you are not made of these things. You are not made of earth, fire, water, and air. You are not those things. You are using them. You are the creator. You are not the creation. You are using these elements to create a mind. So you as a spirit, you are moving through these things because you cannot see both sides of something that makes you. So if you can see both sides of something, if you can see the both side of something, it means it's external of you. You are not made of that material. These people cannot see it this side and this side of itself. It cannot. It has both sides. But since you can see both sides of yourself, it means you are not that thing. So that thing is a creation of you to understand yourself. That's how you know you're not the creation, you are the creator. You are creating these things because you can see both sides. This is called the triangle alchemy. Now, you have water. So you know water is the emotions. When you're emotional, you can cry. When you can cry, you can have tears because they are condensing. Okay? So by default, you know that is feminine because there's a container to contain the tears. So that is feminine. So when it comes to water, it has both sides. The feminine will be the emotions. Now, water connects. You can be connected to someone all the way to being slippery when wet. That is even why you get wet when you're about to have sex, so that the connection is easier, so that you can slide all the way easily. So water connects. So that connection of the water into a vision, a vagina, is the masculine side. For you to have a vision means you are connecting to that vision. You can relate to that thing. So that becomes the masculine side of the water. And the feminine side of the water is the emotions. How are you feeling? The condensing part. So now you see that even when it comes to water, you can see both its side. AKA, you can see what you call the triangle alchemy. You can see both sides of the triangle. Can I make a triangle really quickly here? Why not? So you can see both sides of the triangle. Let me take this a notch higher. I always happen to have what I need to teach in the car. So now, let me show you what I mean. So That is one triangle. Make another one. Jegawa mudaka. Tupo side, jegawa mudaka. Don't waste time. Sawa sawa. Kata sim. Kata karatasi. Tupo side. Tupo side. So, the triangle alchemy. Here we go. So now, you have two triangles. So now, you are observing. So the fire, okay, and the air. And this one, you have the water and the earth. So now, when you do what you call the triangle alchemy, okay, when you're doing your triangle alchemy, no, as above, so below, when you're joining it, okay. So now, when you're joining it, you can see both sides of everything. You can see the fire. You can see the water. I started with air, which is thinking, which is feminine, because you are receiving something. You are receiving the breath. You are receiving the wind. You can feel it. So that makes it feminine. Now, that fire, that air, you're analyzing the air. So that becomes masculine. Now, we have what you call earth energy. So now, earth, I just showed you the alchemy. I was showing you the alchemy. If you know how to practice these things, the alchemy behind. So you have your triangle, inverted, or what you call fire facing up, which is nothing but a point of reference for the first time. Your A, your Aleph, your yoke. So you are looking out there, but you are looking up. Not up as in up, but more expanded. And if you go too far out, the more lonely you feel. So you need to balance. Okay? Now, earth as an element, when you look outside of you, you see trees, you see growth, stability. So earth is practicability. Things being able to be practical. A practical. Go and do a practical in the classroom. That was theory. Now do a practical. So a practical means it's feminine. So that by default makes earth a feminine. Practical. You are receiving something. You are receiving instructions. You are practicing. So that is feminine. Now, when you are concentrating concentrating something to make it more dense, to soil, to heaviness, okay, concentration. So now you have something to concentrate, to make it condense, to make it matter. Now it becomes matter. Now that's become the masculine. So for earth, concentration is the masculine. Practicability or being practical is the feminine. And that is why even earth is so dense and more practical. Everything has to be practical. Practice this. Pass a driving test. This is your first time losing your sexual virginity. Is this, have you a master? Have you been running? Have you been practicing? Have you been winning? Are you the champion? That is why earth has all that feminine energy, because earth is feminine. That's why in earth there's so much competitiveness to be practical. A practice makes perfect. And all that. Now, I just showed you or reminded you on how to create a bigger mind. So, instead of taking just earth, air, fire, and water, how they teach you, without going beyond, you have a smaller mind frame. So they can practice witchcraft on you because your mind is capped at air, water, earth, and fire element without going beyond, because they create the education for you. So you don't want to go beyond to know what's behind it. What does it have two sides? Because once you know that, now you know what fire is from both sides, air is from both sides, earth is from both sides, water is from both sides, aka the yin and yang. Now you know you are not part of those things. They are external. They are outside of you. That's why you can see both sides of them. So now no one can lie to you that you are made of carbon. No one can lie to you that you are made of these things. Since you know these things, you can see They are behind, they are 360, everything, meaning they are not you because you created them. It's something you created, it's something you can look around as the observer. Now you're out of mind now. You're out of your mind now. So now you are the observer now. Now you're in to the spiritual world, whereby the spirit creates the mind so that the mind can create the brain, the capability to interpret its surroundings. So you are not your mind. You are not what you see. You are not what you speak. You are not what you hear. You are not what you receive. You receive these things. You receive thoughts and feelings. They are not you. That's your mind. That's your brain. That's your mind trying to interpret them. So your mind is trying to interpret these things because your spirit, the observer, is coming up with those mentalities. It's jumping into those forms. So your spirit is jumping into those forms, and since your spirit is nothing, is one with God, that is why God uses people. That is why God uses things. That is why your spirit has to jump into these forms, mentalities. That is why your spirit needs a brain to interpret. Your spirit needs a mind frame. Your mind has to create what you call a brain, physical, interpret pain, pleasure, all these things. So your brain, which receives neurons and lights, that's why you call it your brain, reports to your mind. That is why he asks you, are you in the right mind? So the mind that has been created, is it right? Because that mind, that mentality that you are going to is not yours. You are not in your right mind. You are not in your right mentalities. And that right mentality is what the spirit is observing. So your spirit is observing the wrong mind. And to understand that mind, your spirit is creating a brain, or your mind is creating a brain to interpret the situation or the circumstances, to report to the mind. And the mind, the spirit is observing that mind. So that's why we're told your mind is in the wrong place. So you took your mind, your mentality, your time frame, your mind frame into the wrong area, the wrong location. Bullshit, politics, all those minds, which they are not bad if you know how to move into those waters. Okay? But now you become the sheeple, you become the voter, you become the one who's always being ruled over. You become the one who's always told what to do. Never you. Everything you have to be told how to do. You have no mind of your own. Now, that's a whole video actually there. That's a whole video about spirit, mind, and body. You are a spirit. Period. The mind is the mind. Period. The body is the body. Period. The mind is not the body. Since you can be knocked out of your mind, but you're still breathing. And then when you wake up, you're unconscious, you start asking us, what happened? So that means your body and your mind are not together. You are using your body. Now, the mind is not the spirit. That is why you are able to change your mind. Can you please change your mind? Jagawa Mudakayas, please change your mind. Okay, let me change your mind. So you can change your mind. You can change your mentality. And a lot of you are stuck in this world because you don't want to change your mentality. Because you think your mind is you. You think you are the mind. And you are not the mind. And the mind is neither the spirit. There's a whole separation of that thing. But the spirit is nothing. The spirit is creating these things to understand itself. That is why you are told you are one like God. So that is why you are told God experiences himself through you. Because God has no body like Jegawa Mudaka. So I'm here doing God's responsibilities. Because God has no body. So God can experience his mind, or the mind that I'm creating as a space, that spirit space, from my point of awareness, and God can experience life through that. And if it's not the right mind, he can change his mind. He can decide his mind is in the wrong place. His mind is in the gutter, or whatever you want to say, and he can change his mind. And if you don't use your gift and talent, that is how God loses interest. And that is how even words or rulerships, they lose interest. They become expired. They become duds. They no longer have the fire. They have become a sheep, a follower. So 7 million people are following one way. So God has no even need of identifying with that, because there's no expansion. It's the same story. It's the same ritual. It's the same thing. But someone else anajua hiyo, made that for them, created that religion for them. Kanyoni ni woka kuigua bogoke haha. Kagire na kora ya yero na kiria kia hoiti haha ni kombuka. Ni woka gite-ini ni gakuhiriria. Woka kuigua bogo. So understand that, so that now you understand that when you have a smaller mind frame, you are limited, because there are other people who have bigger mind frames, who see behind the scenes, who see the alchemy. So when you are using something, someone else is studying who came up with the intellectual property rights to call that thing a triangle. When you're observing a coin, for you, it's a coin to go and buy. Now, the people who have a bigger mind frame are studying who came up with the size of the coin, the alchemy. Who came up with this coin? Why did they decide that the outer yellow has to be silver inside and this color outside? Who decided on the weight? Who decided on the circumference? Because everything needs what you call everything is something. So who came up with the diameter? Who came up with the thickness? Why? What is the alchemy of the thickness of 10? Why can't we have all coins at this thickness? What makes it different? What makes it a 10? So someone is studying that while you are playing with the money, because you have a smaller mind frame, because you are given business, religion, entertainment, and other things to keep you glued, while someone is going behind the scenes with a bigger mind frame. Or you're stuck in kneeling in churches and praising and I don't know what other lostness, which was not even in you, which you picked up and followed because you have small minds, a small mind frame. I just gave you an example of what you call the triangle alchemy, understanding that you are not these things, because you can know and understand this is fire. So fire is feeling and vision. The feeling is masculine. The feeling, you are feeling hot or cold, is the feminine. Water, we have emotion and connection. So emotion is the feeling. Condensing, the connection, which is the vision. You have to see something, and for you to see, it's masculine in the smallest form, because even seeing is receiving. But now you are seeing this vision as a vision, an imagination, so it's more masculine. Air, thinking, and what we call analyzing. When you start analyzing the air, that's masculine. That's external of you. When you are thinking, that air, that's become, you are receiving a thought. Thinking is thinking, receiving a thought. So that is feminine, because it's receiving all the way to a woman receiving. Now, when it comes to earth, is practicability and concentration. So concentration will be more masculine. You're having to concentrate on something to make it condense, become more dense, or when that thing matters to you, it matters to the point it becomes matter. So concentration is the masculine. Practicability for earth will be the feminine, because you need to practice. You need to be impacted. Something has to come to you. Practice make perfect. So once you know now once you understand the alchemy, the behind the scenes, that even these elements you claim are made of fire, water, you can see the behind the scene. That's tell you you are not those things. You created those things. You created the masculine and the feminine of fire. So fire is your creation. You created the masculine and feminine of water, the emotion and the connection. You created that. So you are the creator. You are not the creation. So you are still not those things. And that's how you separate yourself from the physical and understand how powerful you are, or understand how small a mind frame you are. But now that I've taken you there, you can start creating a bigger mind frame, what you call new neural paths, new minds, mentalities you can jump into, and you shed the old. So once you unlearn, you shed the old lies, the bullshit, you become lighter. And since that was old and used and heavy, and you have detached, and you're jumping into a new mind, naked space, now you can get now you can jump into new spaces, and these new spaces are more lighter because they are more expansive, more out there, more heavenly. Not up heavenly, but more expanded. So more lighter. So they are not condensed, they are not small, they are not shrunk. They are more expanded, more out there, more heavenly, more outward. So now you have a bigger mind. You are more aware. But you're being more aware of less bullshit because you are shedding, you are learning, and you know that God is all possibilities. And you don't need all those PhDs, because those PhDs, they are there to cap you and lock you down to nirahiro degree, a level whereby you can go beyond that level, because they have capped that level at 2 PhDs, at a doctorate of bullshit somewhere. But they decide the education for you. You can't go above that because you have gone to the best of the best. They are universities, they are Oxfords, but they set the curriculum. So when you come back here and tell me how educated you are not educated. You are indoctrinated. You have been given what you call handed down knowledge. It has been handed down for you to look a certain way, and you paid millions of dollars to get to those positions for a program. Well, you can be self-taught. But I'm not saying you don't go to their system. Go to their system, learn their system, use their systems, because you need their system to exist in the world. This is their world. They created the world. It's their view. A new world order does not mean a new world or order created by God somewhere. It just means a new way of seeing the world. A new world order is a new way of seeing the world. It's a new way of seeing the world. It's a new way of seeing the world. It's a new world order. So the only way now when you're traveling, you can see the world is like this. The only way when you're traveling out of the country you can travel is like this. A new world order. So while you keep waiting for a new world order out of the Bible to experience horrors, you have already experienced horrors. You have already experienced no air. A new world order. But you have to be in the world and not of the world. And that, my friend, is dangerous. That is dangerous for the whole world. Because some things have to be maintained. There's order that has to be maintained. There's schools that have to be maintained. Do you own a school? No, you don't own an Oxford. Do you own a university? You don't own a university. That's money. There's a government to be maintained. Do you own any government? You don't have any government. Government is money. They get money from the citizens. There's order to be maintained. Do you have your own entertainment? No. They decide what is entertainment for you. They decide what is top billboard number 10 in the world. They decide trending for you. You don't decide. They decide. It's the applications. Otherwise, if you listen to music, if you have things like Spotify, you know at some point you have listened to the best music in the world, but you didn't know the artist. We have a rainbow. I don't think you can see the rainbow. Okay, let me teach you about the rainbow quickly. Everything everything happened for a reason. 4%. Let me see if you can see the rainbow. So come on now. So can you see the rainbow? Ona muko gabro osio. You can see the rainbow? You can see the rainbow. Ethiete oguo igathirira handu hau. So you can see the rainbow right there, right there. So let me talk about the rainbow. Let me talk about the rainbow really quickly. Now, the rainbow that you have just seen is what you call to a charge generator core 4%. One day I'll have a better phone when that day comes. The day shall come. Whom do you think you are? We're living in a small world, small world. As clever as you think you are, we're living in a small world, a small world. You've been lying to the people of God. We're living in a small world, because you only need, there's only a few. So once you understand these things, you understand that you only have, there are very little mindsets you have to be in to lie to people like that. So it's a very small word. You may think it's a big word, but spiritually it's a very small word, because you can actually sit back and you can see, oh, you follow the money. So who owns the universities? Who owns like the university of the university of the university? Like who calls the shots? Who decides where to cap the education? It's that man. Okay. Ao nio maugite PhD sikinya muico igiri, hatiri githomo gikirite kiu nikio kia muico PhD, hatiri kingi gikirite kiu. So they decide. So you look at their names, and then when you look at their names, you know who they are. Now back to the rainbow. So wetagwa mukogabura, whatever colors you can see, the spectrums. So the colors you can see on the rainbow, they tell you that it's a reflection of light through the water. But what is light? Information. So that's a reflection of information into a water firmament, droplets of water. So what is the water? Emotions, communication. So the masculine side of the water will be connection. So you can connect to the colors. The feminine side of the water will be the feeling, how you feel when you see the color. But they say that is light. And you know light is a fire. So the fire, the light, the sun, the fire is the feeling, which is masculine, how we are feeling. And then again, the vision, what we can see, will be the feminine. So now when you see a rainbow, what you are seeing is our fire, our feelings and visions. That's why you can actually see it as a vision. Hitting water. But then again, it's passing through air. And what is air? Water behaving different in different atmospheres. But now air is thinking, feminine. So the feminine part of air will be thinking, because you are receiving thoughts. So you are receiving thoughts about the colors. You are receiving thoughts like red, yellow, blue, green, whatever, gray, Richard of your gain, battle, invade, all that bullshit inverted. So now when you're analyzing it, that now becomes your masculine. So now you're analyzing it. Richard of your gain, battle in vain. All the color spectrums. So a rainbow, how do I even say this? Is a reflection, because on our mirror I know a reflection. So a rainbow is a reflection on some body of water, rain coming down, of some light through air. So since the rainbow is a reflection, that means the same way the rainbow is reflecting, that is the same way now the moon is a reflection of the sun. But it's not a reflection of the sun to us, it's a reflection of our body of earth. That is earth, Maito, Mobi, feminine, earth, Gaia, the planet we are in relation to a body of water, the sun, that star. And remember, the sun is not an actual star. The sun is the sun's consciousness. When it is relating with the earth's consciousness, they create a firmament. they create what you call a friction. So high velocity body, the sun moving, separating from earth. Okay? Even when you go to the Bible. And high velocity earth, Gaia, Tiamat, they, a star, 75% water, 25% earth. So it's high velocity, moving, rotating. That is why when you open the water in your sink, you can see it's rotating, because we are rotating from the Antarctica to the east coast and everything. So when it's rotating, and the sun is also rotating, okay, since everything is in a rotation, a spiral, a point of reference for the first time, nikio muti ukuraga wina githiururi, nikio njuire yaku ikuraga in circles, a point of reference. You have to spiral out. Everything has to spiral out like the wind. Everything has to spiral out. Spiral. So even when you are ejaculating, now, or squatting, whichever you want to name it. So that expansion of the body of water as it's rotating, and the sun creates a temperament. You get the word temperature. That temperament creates a heat. Now that heat is what you see as the sun. But because it's rotating and you are rotating, what you see as round is a disc, but it's not it's a disc. It's a disc. I don't have a disc in Jaga muthakano. Oh, ndugithomithio coke wage kindu ta disc ngari-ini. Come on now. Perfect. 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 Now this is a Shell air freshener. Now if I was to rotate this as a coin, I even have a coin. Oh no, here we go. Now we need a flat surface. Jaga muthaka ndugiaga flat surface. No jage, no jikona indo ciothe. Okay, it's okay, they get the point. So if I take this coin and I flip it round, irogametio igimithirukia uguo round, ugimirora ituikaga circle. But it's not a circle. It's rotating. But since it's rotating so fast, if I rotate it on a table, you only see a circle. So you see the sun as a circle, but it's a disc, like this coin. The same way we are a disc. The world is not round, neither is it flat. It's a sphere, it's a body of water. So the sun looks like this coin as a consciousness, like the earth. But since when it's spinning, both of them, they create a permanent temperature. So you see that light, you see that rotating disc of that interaction, that fire. That's what you see. That's what you call the sun. What you are seeing is not the sun. What you are receiving is what you are calling the sun. It's still not the sun. But they tell you the sun because you follow the education. You have to follow. What is that? A sun is a ball of fire that is in the sky. Okay, they cannot. Okay, wrong. The education. This is wrong. What? A sun is a ball of fire. Okay, Mwalimu. If I put that, you are going to give. Yeah, I'm going to give you a right. So you put it. So you are programmed. Because you're not self-taught. Because you don't step out. Because you don't understand life. You follow book. You're programmed. Now. So tukinyire okwateru kwanza mind, body and spirit tukagero kitu ikinya ni mukugabra tugothomithia icio. So now so the moon is like the rainbow. No guona rainbow. No guona mukugabra ria kwagya na kaundu kau kwanza uihurite kuihura. No ria twagya na firmament area. So now when you see that firmament, that's what the moon is, a reflection. The moon, you cannot land off the moon, and you have never landed on the moon because the moon is not physical. Stop lying to people and making images and lying people up at NASA. You cannot land on the moon. The same way you cannot land on what you call this rainbow. Can you land on that thing? Can you land on that? Can you land on that rainbow? No, you cannot. And you can see it's a permanent. It's going almost a dome. It's creating a dome. It's creating a sphere. Okay? Since you cannot land on the rainbow, the same way you cannot land on the moon. Muthimurene de grassi nejaga wa muthaka mubu wa baria bu ogani maheni na matigacoke gutuhenia, but they don't lie to you. You are the one who lies to yourself. Since when you go to their images and you type in the moon, how you go to yadikaga images, the yadikaga picture, ikuraga this is an image of the moon, and we create images. We don't take pictures. So stop being gullible and wake up for once. Because even in their Google, they tell you an image of the sun. They tell you, But they are sneaky. They play with the words and you miss the words. It's an image, it's not the picture. Kwetu jua ni kali sana, no sign of rain. Na huko liwa nili aliyete anura kibs. My phone is at 1% now, so if it goes off, it goes off. I have no apologies. So, and you know it, you can feel it. Sometimes you question everything, but you are told not to question things. And so it's about time you started questioning things and expand your mind frame. Stop having your mind frame limited by people, external of you. Stop being capped at 2 PhDs. Stop being given 3 PhDs. Stop being stopped knowing something at a degree, what you call a PhD, a doctorate. And since they make these things look important, Professor Mutahi Ngunyi, shout out to him, now you have to pay attention to Professor. Now you have to pay attention to someone because they have a title. That is why I said I am nothing. All I have is titles, and I don't even care about the titles because I go beyond the titles. I go beyond your PhDs. I go beyond Degrassi, the head of NASA, and I don't even know why they are millionaires for lying to the people, aka a Jesuit program. Na nidhayo.